Hi everyone, it's Casey Williams. Well, last week I was out of town on personal business and I had a Nissan Rogue as my rental car. It had the rubber steering wheel and cloth seats and hubcaps, but it reminded me that the Rogue's really a very nice car to drive. You sit up high, gets good gas mileage, it's got plenty of power, and it just really is a very decent car. But I kept thinking to myself, what would it be like if you took the Rogue and kind of crossed it with something like the Nissan Juke? Something a little lighter, all-wheel drive, something sporty. So right in the middle, a car that's a Juke, but more like a Rogue, and what would it be like? So I came home, and this was sitting in my driveway. It's a 2017 Nissan Rogue Sport, and it really does answer the question. From the front, the Rogue Sport really does have a family resemblance. It has Nissan's V-Motion grille. This is the SL package, which is the upper end trim. So it's got a lot more chrome and bright work, and the kind of the bottom front fascia looks a little more aggressive. But I think it works really well and gives it a nice stance and an aggressive look. If you look real close, you can tell that this is really just a plastic panel for the radar cruise control and crash mitigation systems. Got the camera underneath here for the round view monitor. Again, very nice. I like the quad headlamps. You've got LED turn signals, LED driving lamps, fog lamps down below. I think it looks really good on the front. And I like what Nissan does with design. They have curves and bumps in all the right places. I like the way the fender kind of comes up into the hood, like the ridges here. Just gives it a little bit of attention to the design. Makes it look a little tougher. Like it a lot. It sits over 19-inch alloy wheels with low profile tires on it. And you see the side profile, you realize that it is smaller than the Rogue. It looks down, it's a little bit shorter. And it's a little bit deceiving. It's only 2.3 inches shorter in wheelbase. Most of that's taken out of the rear seat legroom and the cargo compartment. Overall, it's just over a foot shorter than the Rogue. So again, it's really kind of the shorter height of it that gives you the impression that it's smaller. Really less than right at a foot difference in length. Again, I just like the way the curves. I like this line that comes across. I like the way this kind of curves in. Again, just tension and design all the right places. And it does seem like cars just keep getting oranger and oranger. I like the color on this one, really bright, kind of some copper undertones to it. Looks very good on this car. I like the satin silver roof rails. Again, nice details. Come around the back, again, it's kind of got that off-road look with the bumper, the gray plastic. Looks nice on it. And like I said, one of the places you do notice the difference in length between this and the Rogue, and the difference in height as well, is really in the cargo compartment. Again, I just had a giant suitcase and was lugging it into the Rogue last week, and this is noticeably smaller. But it's enough space in here, and it's certainly competitive, with other vehicles in this class. A little bit of underfloor storage, back seats go down. So you can get anything you need. So for a car in this class, I think it's enough space, but you will notice the difference from other larger SUVs. Well, an advantage of a slightly smaller vehicle is the need for a slightly smaller engine. So they reduced the displacement by about half a liter. So we're looking at a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. Delivers 141 horsepower. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is enough in a car this size. That's routed to the all-wheel drive system through a continuously variable transmission. I don't love continuously variable transmissions, but I do think Nissan makes probably about the best one ever created. It's relatively quiet, you don't hear it revving loudly. It really is just kind of quiet in the background. And you almost get to a point where you don't even notice that it's a CVT. So again, I think they did a pretty good job with that. The one thing you're really not getting for the smaller size is a lot better fuel economy. So fuel economy with all-wheel drive is rated 24 miles per gallon in the city, 30 miles per gallon on the highway. Again, that's comparing to some other vehicles that are pushing mid-30s, with all-wheel drive, they're in this class. So I think that's one area where they could really improve on the vehicle. But a couple of other things I think they really did step up with, and some of the hardware underneath of the body has a 4-wheel independent suspension. You can certainly feel that when you drive it, certainly feel it in the handling, certainly feel it when you go over rough roads. It just rumbles right over the roads, doesn't shake, squeak, or creak anything in the car. Has 4-wheel disc brakes, plenty of stopping power. Again, overall, it's just really kind of a fun little car to drive. Well, besides being smaller, much of the interior in the Rogue Sport is indistinguishable from the Rogue. Has the same look, same overall feel. But compared to my rental car last week, this is noticeably more upscale. Got heated leather seats, and they're very nice. Nice thick leather, feels good. Heated leather steering wheel, dual zone automatic climate control, got navigation. Also got a round view monitor, so you can see around the car very easily, bird's eye view when you're maneuvering. I think that's really kind of cool. Down below, lots of features that are just easy for convenience. USBs here, auxiliary port, power. Of course, you have Bluetooth, deep console, cup holder storage, some more storage here. So again, just a lot of utility inside the car. But there's also, it just gives it a more upscale appearance. Things like the piano black finish looks very nice. This is all softly padded. Power sunroof is good. And some of the safety gear, again, the car I had last week, rental car, had none of the safety gear on it. So this has a blind spot warning system on it. It has the round, like I said, the round view monitor for the camera. Also has a crash mitigation system. Again, you got radar in the nose, so if it senses you're approaching too close and you're not taking action, the car will go ahead and brake. Has rear cross path detection. Has adaptive cruise control. It will adjust automatically on the highway, keep a safe distance. And so the one thing that I would say though, I was driving the car, going underneath the bridge, had a little bit of shadow on the road, and I don't know if it saw the shadow, I don't know if it saw something else, but there wasn't a car in front of me, and it did apply the brake. So I kind of realized what had happened, and it just happened very quickly, and the car went on. But a little bit of concern with some of that working exactly the way it's supposed to. There are buttons to turn some of this stuff off if you don't feel comfortable. But again, there's just a lot of gear on the car. And it's also got, the lane departure warning system on it. Again, buttons over here on the left side that you can turn off most of that system if you don't really want it on. I can tell you right now, they're going to sell tons and tons of the Nissan Rogue Sport. It's got the attributes of the Rogue. It's quiet, it's easy to drive, it's a pleasant vehicle to be in. But it's just got a little more of that handling and a little more of the fun that I really enjoyed in the Juke. Just make it kind of a TIE fighter for the road. And they are going to be discontinuing the Juke very soon, so this car is essentially going to take its place in the lineup. But I think they've done a very good job. It's not perfect. Had some blips with the crash avoidance system. There's a lot of beeping beeping from the system, from the lane departure system too, when there's really nothing going on there. But again, you can disable that stuff. But overall, it's just really a nice, pleasant car in. And it's got all the luxury features you could really want for a car in this class. So let's talk about pricing. Well, this one starts just under $21,500. As equipped, it's almost $10,000 more at $31,055. But again, with all the safety gear on it, the interior trim, and the size and the performance of this vehicle, it's on par with cars that are $31,000. And some of those that are kind of in that class would be, Honda HR-V, the Subaru Crosstrek, fully loaded out, a Mercedes GLA be at the high end of that, but very close in that price range. And a Hyundai Tucson would also be right there. And again, I think against all those cars, it's very competitive, and it's really nice. I like the way it looks, I like the way it drives, and it's a lot of fun. So next week we'll have another fun car. Until then, storm forward.